You have been watching live as prosecutors wrap their closing statement in the case against Alex Murdaugh in what's being called the trial of the century in South Carolina, where Murdaugh, a former attorney, was known by so many and now known by many more as he's accused of killing his wife and son. Accusations he denies. And in the last few minutes, we have heard now the prosecutors use Murdaugh's own words against him, talking about the so-called tangled web we weave when it comes to all the lies Murdaugh has admitted to telling. Prosecutors repeated, I'm quoting here, that no one knew who this man was, that even with his fame, he was unknown, that he avoided accountability with the powerful status he had. They called him a family annihilator. The prosecutor driving home the state did not have any eyewitnesses because they were murdered. But he says common sense and human nature can speak on behalf of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh. I want to bring in Katie Beck in Walterboro, South Carolina. NBC News legal analyst Kristen Gibbons-Fedden is going to be joining us as well. Katie, let me start with you. And just to help people understand what's happening now, the prosecution done for the moment. The defense will get an opportunity starting tomorrow morning to deliver its closing statement, and the jury will take it all in. And then the jury will be charged by the judge to go behind closed doors and determine the guilt or innocence of Alex Murdaugh in the murders of these two victims here, these two family members. It seems like in the last part of the state's close, the prosecutor, Creighton Waters, really wanted to focus on these lies that Murdaugh acknowledged telling again and again and again.
Right. Yeah, I think we heard a little bit of a different theory in closing than we did in the opening statements. The closing arguments, the word that stuck out to me was shame. I had not heard Creighton Waters use the word shame yet, but he made a big point about the reputation, the prominence, the family legacy, and the fact that this is someone who couldn't and wouldn't live with shame. He knew his life was collapsing on him. He knew he was about to be exposed financially for his crimes, for his lies, for stealing money from clients, and that mounting pressure, that wave of pressure and an unbearable sense that he had to do something is what drove him to these murders. That is what we heard today. That word shame not been used before, but he did recount lie by lie, all of the things Alex Murdaugh admitted on the stand that he repeatedly told to investigators that wasn't the truth. You know, that kennel video he pointed to said this was the critical piece of evidence. If it wasn't for this piece of evidence that, by the way, surfaced very late in the investigation, we would not have been able to put him at the crime scene. And wouldn't it be important to someone who's innocent to be honest about such an important fact? When was the last time you saw your wife and son? How is it possible that someone who's innocent would think to lie about that and would think to lie about it so quickly? So those were some of the things we heard in closing arguments. Certainly more this afternoon, we got more technical. We got down to the nitty gritty. We replayed those videos, those in-car camera interviews, analyzing Murdaugh's demeanor with police, what he offered at the time, and certainly having an impact as far as showing the differences between tone, the tone he took on the stand, the tone he took in the videos. He says he doesn't trust SLED investigators, yet there is a really cordial back and forth seeming to happen between them in those interviews, a trust, if you will. So I think his point to the jury was exactly what he said there at the end. Don't let him fool you. He's lied very easily, very well, because he's a trained attorney, to many people in his life. Don't let him lie to you, too.
Yeah, the prosecutor saying the defendant has fooled everyone who thought they were close to him.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.